Hey guys, in the last video we've set up our player scene. Now we need to make our player come to life. So in this video we're gonna make our player move. If we click now on the play button, we can see that our player is static, he can't do anything. Let's first set up our keys. Let's click on project settings. Let's go to input map. Let's click here, let's write here move left, and let's click enter. Let's click move right, enter. Now let's bind these actions to the keys. Let's click here on physical key. Let's click on A to move left using A. Okay. Now for the right we'll do the same. We click on the plus button, select physical key, and we click on the D button, click OK. Now when we refer to move left or move right, we're actually referring to the A on the keyboard or the D on the keyboard. So I hope that makes sense. So now let's click on the close button. Let's come here and select our player. Let's click on attach script. Okay, it's named player. So let's click on this small folder icon. Let's navigate a little one backward and let's create a new folder called scripts. Okay, let's click open, create. First, we need to define some variables. We define variables in Godot using the keyword var. So we need to define the movement of the player, the move speed. So let's write it move speed. Let's start with something like maybe 100, and now we also need to define the velocity of the player. Okay, so the velocity is in vector 2. Let's define it by writing var velocity equal vector 2.0. We're initializing this to 0. Vector 2 is a combination of x and y, of two variables, okay, x and y. So that's why we're defining velocity as a vector 2. Okay, now let's go and create and write here, uncomment this. Let's write here if input dot is action pressed. Let's select move left. Let's velocity dot x equal minus move speed right, because we want to move to the left. So if we want to move to the right, we need to add elif input dot is action pressed. Don't hold this, we just need pressed move right, and we do the same, velocity dot x equal move speed. Let's explain a little bit here. So first we do conditions in Godot using the if and elif and else statement. This way we do conditions. So if input dot is action press, so if the player is pressing the action binded to move left, means the A button here in this case, we execute this code. If we is not pressing this button which is left, else if is pressing the move right button which is the D button, we execute this code. Input.isAction pressed is predefined in Godot. It's a function to access input. Okay, so now we also need to make the actual character move. So we need to set now the velocity equal, there is a function called move and slide. Move and slide takes two arguments. The first argument is the velocity, which is, we already defined it, we're sending it here. The second variable is the vector for our up direction. So we need to specify vector2.up. So this is it. Now we will notice a little something strange when we run our code, but it's on purpose because I want to explain something. Let's now run our code. Let's click on the D. If we remove our finger from the D, the player still move. If we click on the A, the player move backward, but as you see, there's no animation, there's nothing. So Okay, we've moved a little bit forward. So now we can stop our player from moving if we release our key. Let's like else velocity at x equals 0. So if player is not pressing the move left or move right, we set the velocity on the x-axis to 0. So now if we're not holding the D button, the player will stop moving. If we're not holding the A button, the player will stop moving left. Okay, that's an improvement. So now let's actually make our player animated while moving. So let's write here on ready var player underscore anim equal $. The $sign help us select one of our nodes. We need to select the animated sprite. On ready means when this animated sprite node is ready, we bind it to the player anim variable. We have to use the onReady. Otherwise, this will give us an error. Let's remove onReady and see. This will give us an error, as you can see. So we need to use the onReady. Okay, so now here, if the player is moving left, we need to access it now using the player anim.play. We've named our animation idle, so we need to type it exactly how we named. Sorry, we named it walk exactly the way we named it. And we also need to play the animation here also walk. And if he's not moving, we need to play the idle animation. Okay, let's save and let's run. Perfect, now the animation is playing. But if we're moving to the left, the animation is playing, but the player is not looking to the left, obviously. So let's fix this. So now here, if the player is moving to the left, let's flip it on the H axis. Dot flip H equal true. Here we need to flip it again, right? Because if it keeps flipping to the left, when we're moving to the right, it also needs to be flipped. So let's now run our code, our scene, sorry. Now, okay, we're moving to the right. We remove our finger from the D button. Okay, it's normal. Now we move to the left. Perfect. We move again to the right. Perfect. So everything seems to work fine. We can even modify the speed here and make him a little bit faster. Let's try maybe 120. Let's run again. Yeah, I think for me it's a little bit better. Perfect. So I guess this is it for this video. In the next video, we'll make our player jump. So I hope you like it. See you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.